The teacher called, "Your son is having a seizure. What did you feed him this morning?" I made him oatmeal. The same oatmeal he's eaten every morning for 3 years. I was already grabbing my keys when the teacher said the ambulance was on its way. My son Ethan is 12. No seizure history. No medical conditions. Nothing that would explain why he was convulsing on his classroom floor. I called my husband Derek on the way. Ethan's having a seizure. What? I don't know. I don't know anything. I'm driving to the hospital now. I ran 3 red lights, pulled into the emergency bay right behind the ambulance. They were already wheeling him in. His body was still twitching. Eyes rolled back. Foam at his mouth. That's my son. Ma'am, we need you to wait. I'm not waiting. They let me follow. Doctors surrounded him, pushed medications. His body finally went still, but he wasn't waking up. What's wrong with him? We're running tests. Has he ingested anything unusual? Just oatmeal. I made it myself. Derek arrived 20 minutes later. His face was gray. What happened? They don't know yet. The doctor came out with a clipboard. Mrs. Holloway, does Ethan have access to any medications at home? Just children's Tylenol. Nothing else. What about supplements? Vitamins? I give him a multivitamin every morning. I froze. The vitamins. I'd bought a new bottle last week from the pharmacy. Same brand we always used. Ethan took one this morning like always. Where did you get them? CVS. The one on Madison. The doctor's expression changed. We're seeing something unusual in his blood work. His system is flooded with a compound that shouldn't be in children's vitamins. Someone tampered with those vitamins. I called the police from the hospital hallway. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. Derek held me while I tried to explain that someone had poisoned our son through his vitamins. The detective arrived within the hour. He bagged the vitamin bottle from my purse, sent it to the lab. Ethan was stable but unconscious. They said his brain needed time to recover from the seizure. The lab results came back in 4 hours. The vitamins contained a concentrated dose of a prescription seizure medication, the same medication that causes seizures in people who don't need it. Someone had opened the capsules, replaced the contents, and resealed them perfectly. Who has access to your home? Family, the babysitter sometimes. That's it. The detective pulled up the pharmacy's security footage. There I was buying the vitamins. Normal transaction. But then he rewound further. 3 days before my purchase, someone else had been in that aisle. A woman in a baseball cap. She spent 15 minutes examining vitamin bottles. Opened several, put them back. The detective zoomed in on her face. Do you recognize her? My blood turned to ice. That's Amanda, Derek's ex-wife. She'd lost custody of her daughter from a previous marriage due to mental health issues. She'd been bitter about Derek moving on. She'd made comments about how unfair it was that he got to have a happy family. But this? I never thought she was capable of this. Police went to Amanda's apartment and found everything. A pharmacy's worth of prescription medications she'd been stockpiling, empty vitamin capsules, a resealing kit she'd bought online, and a journal. Pages and pages about watching our family, following me to stores, learning my shopping patterns, waiting for me to buy the vitamins she'd already tampered with. She'd planted 6 bottles across 3 different stores, just waiting for me to pick one up. The journal entries were horrifying. She wrote about teaching Derek a lesson, about making him feel the pain of losing a child, about how Ethan wasn't really his son anyway, because Derek belonged with her. The detective said she'd been planning this for 8 months. 8 months of stalking us while we lived our normal lives completely unaware. She was arrested that night, denied everything until they showed her the journal. Then she just smiled and said Derek would finally understand how she felt. Ethan woke up the next morning, groggy, confused, asking why his head hurt so bad. I held him so tight he complained he couldn't breathe. Derek stood behind us with tears streaming down his face. The doctor said Ethan was incredibly lucky. A slightly higher dose would have caused permanent brain damage, or worse. He'd need monitoring for a few months, but they expected a full recovery. The pharmacy issued a massive recall, checked every bottle on every shelf, found 2 more that Amanda had tampered with. 2 other families who could have gone through what we did. Amanda was charged with attempted murder, stalking, and tampering with consumer products. She got 18 years.